paranormal investigators are often seen as antagonistic. At least you guys have appeared to be antagonistic. Do you think your work has a positive effect, and if so, how?
Well, the angle that I'd like to take on this question is when we take someone on, whether we think they're a fraud or they're just someone that's really steeped in their own belief or whatever, and we have a pretty good feeling that they're wrong or we have evidence that they're wrong, we are not out to change their minds. We're out to pin them against the wall so all the other people that are on the fence can look at the evidence and see for themselves. So we will appear to be very antagonistic at times. The famous Phil Plait "Don't be a dick" speech really, I think is absolutely incorrect way to look at it. I think that there are times you have to be antagonistic and you have to be able to let everybody see the evidence for what it is. If you can do it with humor, that's great. If you can do it with mocking, that's an incredible social tool, whether people want to admit it or not. And it may make us look like social tools, but that's just what it comes down to. But at the same time, while we're out there seeming like bad guys, especially to the opposition, we seem like we're horrible people. It has been printed in the Wall Street Journal that we are disinformation agents for a secret CIA black ops project, which is absolutely hysterical.
Or true.
Or true.
Could be.
So, the thing is we are definitely bad guys in that sense. But on the flip side of that, we like to do a lot of grassroots stuff, public outreach. We like to help students with their reports. We give all kinds of lectures to high schools and colleges and elementary schools. And
well, yeah, it's a lot of the education, helping people understand this and being able to talk to kids especially, or even college students who still have a bit of a thinking process. They aren't completely set into their ways. If we can go in and teach them some critical thinking, go in and let them understand that everything they hear isn't always the truth and they need to look at it from their own perspective, I think we've done our job at that point, but not many people are doing that.
Like most superheroes, we don't care if people think we're right or wrong. We're going to do what we feel is right. Truth, justice, and stuff.
What is with those outfits? Is it a take on ZZ Top's Sharp-Dressed Men?
Well, we are sharp-dressed men. That is true. But we had to take on a gentleman by the name of Jeff Peckman. And he wanted to form an ET Affairs Commission in Denver.
This is also known as an ET Welcoming Committee, depending on who you talk to, because initially he said that, then he said, well, they're already among us, so we just need to study their civilizations. Basically, it was a way for him to get some people that he knew jobs in the city, so they didn't have to get real jobs, I think.
On the taxpayer's dollar.
Right.
So there was a lot of bureaucracy involved. It was us and the ethics committee were alerted to us and the city treasurer, I believe, of wrongdoing, because we asked the treasurer what this initiative was going to cost the taxpayers, and he told us. And we used that information against Jeff Peckman. So he tried to get a hold of the ethics committee and to have a case against us for being unethical, for telling the truth. We formed a political committee called Mission for Inhibiting Bureaucracy, or the MIB, hence the outfits. And it's just stuck. We've never gotten rid of them.
Yeah, we just didn't want to go with the standard black ties and white shirt, because
then we look Mormon.
We had, well, that's true, and we had to have the alien colors with us. So unfortunately, it branded us, and we're stuck with it now. But I think it's a good look.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I wanted to bring up is there's a few other skeptical paranormal investigators out there, and they've paved the way for people like us, and they've done a lot of great work. I think that any one school of thought can be a little bit dangerous, though, and people think that their work is definitive. I want to say that that's absolutely not true. One of the things that we get hassled for a lot is the fact that we follow a little bit of the format of the typical TV paranormal investigator. And what I mean by that is we take a certain amount of equipment, we go into a location, and we'll do that overnight investigation. And skeptical paranormal investigators don't do that. They do some historical stuff. They'll go out there and they'll look at things and usually wrap things up fairly quickly and leave. The problem is when you're doing outreach and you're trying to reach the people that you're not preaching to the choir to, you have to live up to their expectations of what a paranormal investigator is. So if you go in with no equipment, you go in with no extended time, really going over things in front of them so they can see what you're doing, suddenly whatever you say doesn't hold any water. And so we get criticized because we use EMF detectors. And well, that's not going to find a ghost. Well, of course it's not. But what it is going to do is create the data necessary to show the client that it doesn't find ghosts, to show the group of people that came to see your lecture, to show them that EMF detectors don't find ghosts, but they do find other things that can be of value to explain a haunting. So I just want to say that we do these things for a very good reason, and a lot of these other paranormal investigators probably ought to take a moment to step back and listen to what we say, because we've been spending our careers listening to what they say and learning from them.
Well, and another thing as far as that goes is just because you've gone out and proven one specific case, I go out looking at a haunted house and I say, okay, we know what caused this. I can't go to any other location and say, well, it's similar, therefore it's fake just like this one, or it's caused by something like this. You have to take every case, even if it's in the same basic concept of whatever it is you're researching, a case at a time, and look at those claims. You can't just go, we've solved everything. It just can't happen.